What's up, Rockers? My name is Daniel, and welcome to my little corner of reality. It's been a long time, and I'm glad to be back. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, Daniel, where's the video portion of this? Normally, you have video. You do this as a video. Well, yeah, I do normally do this as a video. But I've decided to change things up a little bit and decided to do this mostly as an audio podcast, available through YouTube. Now, I know you're thinking, well, why? Well, it's simple. When it comes to doing the videos, it's always difficult because, when it comes to audio like this, it's easier to set up. All I have to do is plug in a microphone to my computer, open up an audio program, and start recording. When it comes to me, it's not only that easy, to set it up, but it's also allowing me the possibility to do more recordings in a much shorter time than it is for me to do a video, because when I do a video I have to set up the camera, make sure it's set up high enough to be able to get to the top of my head, make sure I'm in the center of the frame, do a recording, view the recording to see if I messed it up or if it's too long, delete that recording, and then do another recording, make sure I can get everything compacted. But when it comes to audio, it's easier, it's simpler. I can do all the editing I need in a much shorter time and get it uploaded within also the same short amount of time. Now, I've been mostly sidetracked with life, and I apologize about that because I know there's a lot of people that are waiting for the next episode of Film School Recommended. And, well, life is one of the reasons why I got sidetracked. There's another reason, which I'll go into shortly. Basically, I've been mostly working because work increased during December, January, and February, and finally March came around and it dropped back down to a much more manageable size. But it was a little difficult. But now I'm back to the easier work schedule, which allows me to be able to do this. Now, the other reason why I've been having a delay with Film School Recommended is, again, technical issues with the MacBook Pro. Every time I think I've got it fixed, it throws a curveball at me and doesn't want to come on even after being plugged in. So I think it might have something to do with the battery that I got in it, because the battery is really old. And I know I might need to swap it out to get a new one. So I don't know if that's what's keeping it from booting up or not, but it acts like it's not wanting to boot up after being plugged in for a certain amount of time. And which really is a pain in my rear end, because I had already ripped 4 DVDs to the laptop that I will now have to re-rip in order to do it on my desktop computer, which is my gaming computer where I'm recording this right now. Now, I apologize for the delay, but I thank you for those who are waiting for the second episode for your patience, and I will get around to it. I know it's already been almost 3 years since I did the first episode. It's about time I get my ass into gear and do the final few episodes. Now, I will let you know there is one small noticeable change that I will do to the series. Originally, I started off with it being with the idea of doing it as a 7-episode test series. But after some thinking, I've decided to make it a 10-episode test run instead. So, with the episode that's already uploaded, there will be 9 episodes left of the test run, and if people like it, and people keep asking for more of it, I will continue to do it, continue on and try to provide information on films that people should watch to be able to understand the art of film. I want to help. Okay, and this is my way of contributing to film goers that are trying to be filmmakers. Okay. Now, because the month of March marks 3 different things. The first thing is that it's the 1-year anniversary of the release of Ready Player One. Like I said, I'm recording this on March the 31st. Ready Player One came out on March the 29th. So basically, it's been about 2 days ago that marked the 1-year anniversary. Now, I've enjoyed the film. I love the film. And in fact, I love it just as much as I love the book. Now, I know many fans disliked it for the fact that it's not exactly like the book, not everything's included, changes to the character and story, as I've made mention in one of my videos before, which I'll link down in the description. And to me, I still find it's a good film. I like them both. I like them both equally. Now, a lot of fans of RPO might try to revoke my Gunter card as a result, but I liked it, and it's easy, to be seen as an in-universe adaptation, one of the in-universe adaptations of Wade's story that he mentions at the start of the book. And, again, if you haven't seen the book, if you haven't read the book, I definitely recommend it, by Ernest Cline. And if you haven't seen the film, I definitely recommend that, but just keep in mind the book and the film, they're both, RPO and heart, but they have different blood pumping through them. So, essentially it's still the same heart of Ready Player One in there. Now, the second thing I've mentioned, that marks March, it's not only the 1 year anniversary of Ready Player One, but it's the 20th anniversary of Farscape. Farscape is a television show that came out on the Sci-Fi Channel, now known as Sci-Fi, which is the worst spelling name ever. And the premise of it involves an American astronaut that gets thrown to the other side of the universe through a wormhole and ends up aboard a living ship with escaped alien prisoners that become his family and friends. And all the while he's trying to figure out how to get home, they're being pursued by several different military alien commanders. It varies depending who it is each season. I definitely recommend it. And I actually found out that recently, due to the 20th anniversary, that Amazon Prime has uploaded all 4 seasons and the Peacekeeper War TV miniseries up to their services. And, I definitely recommend the series. Just one thing you gotta remember, it's not your father's Star Trek, it's not your mother's Star Wars, it's not your uncle's Babylon 5. It's a unique sci-fi show that you might enjoy. And of course, if you do enjoy this series after you hit the end of the miniseries and you're still wanting more of the story, there is a 2008 series comic book by Boom Studios, and it's canon due to the fact that Rockne S. O'Bannon, the creator of Farscape, who also wrote several of the episodes, and as several of the writers from the show have continued to write the comic series. I think the comic series actually recently stopped. I don't know how many stories there are. I myself just finished the very first 4 issues of the first story, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, there are some other projects that I have been considering, other than the film school recommended that I've already told you that I'm still working on. One of the projects that I'm working on is an action figure diorama, 1/18th scale room that I may or may not include video or pictures of while I'm working on it. Now, the thing is that I'm not going to do a tutorial on how to build a 1/18th scale room, because there are tutorials on how to build such rooms, such model diorama rooms, as well as how to build items for said room. So it's like, I'm not going to do a tutorial on how to build a shelf in 1/18th scale, because there are tutorials where people have made 1/18th scale shelves for their action figure dioramas. Okay, so everything that I would be doing, it's basically off of tutorials that I've already seen on YouTube. So they're all there, so you don't need me to do a tutorial. But like I said, I might include some pictures and video of the final product. Now, another thing I've been thinking about getting back into in relation to action figures is action figure photography. I've done my fair share of some of them. I've mostly done some pictures in black and white color, as well as white and dark backgrounds, but I haven't done anything like that utilize different settings, different backgrounds, and stuff like that. But I've been thinking about getting back into it. To see the pictures I've done so far, I've included the link down at the bottom to my DeviantArt page that has those action figure shots. I hope y'all go over and check them out and see what find them somewhat enjoyable. Another thing that I've been wanting to finish for a while is a film script. I'm not going to give the details about the story. All I can say is that it's been a story that I've been working on for a long time, and I've been wanting to finish it so that way, it's out of my head finally. And, it's like one of those projects that, it's like you keep coming back to, and every time you try to inch forward, you find yourself falling back instead. And I'm hoping that I can finally get a chance to finish it, or come to a point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to work on it anymore. But that's just me, of course. Another possible series I might do for YouTube is something I've already mentioned before. I thought about doing a DIY prop making tutorial series. The thing is that there are already channels that already do it, and they do it very well. Like Backyard Effects did it. William Shakespeare, who I'm a follower of, he's a great kid. He does great tutorials on DIY props and costume pieces. I definitely recommend his series. Odin Makes, another series I definitely recommend. DIY Prop Shop, and several others that I can't really name off the top of my head because there's so many of them. Now, I'm not sure if I want to do it, but if I do, I'm not going to do like the others. I'm not going to do requests. I'm not going to take requests from users to build, to build certain items because, well, it's something to do that was due to something that happened over with Indy Mogul's Backyard Effects. I won't go into detail about it, but long story short is that if I did do a prop making series, I would be introducing you to concepts and ideas on how to build props, and it would be up to the viewers to decide on how to use those techniques to make it. Because, if you can't learn to do, the technique, then what's the point of trying to build something to cater to someone at a certain time? It doesn't make any sense to me. Also, I've been working on trying out a DIY method for VR. My dad gave me several pieces of tech to be able to do DIY VR at my home. One of them includes an Oculus Go and a couple of PS Move controllers. Now, I had to purchase the other hardware, which, I've already got everything together. The only thing I need to do is sit down, take the time to try to figure out how to get the hardware to work and get everything set up so that way I can try it. Now, I have done actual VR before back in October. I went to go see Halloween, which I did, but 2 hours before that, it was a 2-hour wait before the next showing. So as a result, I found this VR arcade that's across the street from the movie theater. I went in, got a chance to try it. I tried out a couple of games. The first one was Richie's Plank Experience, which was at the recommendation of the girl behind the counter because I had never tried VR before and I didn't know where to start. And then after that, I switched over and played Arizona Sunshine for a little bit, which was very interesting and very fun. And I'd like to try to figure out if I can try it at home. Do the DIY method that a lot of people have decided to do, as a means of filling in the time and trying to save up the money to do the purchasing of an actual legit VR rig. But that's neither here nor there for right now. And I'm not sure if I'll do a video or a podcast about it when I get done, but there's a lot of tutorials on how to do it as well. Finally, my older sister Heather recommended that she and I should start a series together, a YouTube series together, where we do film reviews. As interesting as it is, my main concern is that I have is that there are things that she and I have in common that are in a small area of overlap. There are some things that she likes that I don't like, and there are things that I like that she doesn't like, and that's how families are. Some siblings don't have barely things in common. Sometimes they do, but the thing is that for me it would be difficult to try to introduce something new to her if it's a film that she hasn't seen that might be older. She's got like Ferris Bueller's Day Off in her collection, as well as several other movies that are over 10 years old now. But for me, I like looking at other movies and TV shows and stuff that I have heard about but have never gotten a chance to see. And I'm worried that by doing this series that, I wouldn't be able to convince her to try to look at older films that she might not be familiar with. Whereas for me, I would be a little bit more, open to that. But, I don't know if I will go with it or not. It's one of those things I'm considering. And, it's just, I'm just worried about the difference between the two of us, and our points of view about film. I'm worried about it causing some difficulties between us for doing the series. But I am considering it. And we've reached the end of this podcast. I know, that's a lot of topics covered in a short time. And I am sorry about the wait on everything, and I thank y'all very much for your patience. Hopefully this will be continued in not only audio, but I will continue to do video. I'm not giving up doing the video portions of Film School Recommended, but I like the setup because it allows for me to do more entries, whereas the video takes a little bit more time to get set up. And hopefully I can do this on a regular basis, and with hopefully with better topics as well. I hope everyone is doing well on the other end of your computer screens. It doesn't matter if it's a PC, Mac, a tablet, or your cell phone. As a wise man once said, remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Peace!